it wasn't created on that day. It was created for many months, even years before. It was released precisely at an exact time. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that is truly disconcerting now. I had no idea that Peter Thiel studied under Sam's dad. And you know who comes in 8th on the list of donors to Democratic Party? So Soros is number 1. Sam was number 2. You know who's number 8?
Who?
Peter. Wait a minute. Peter was the guy who Trump was so buddy with. He's the number 8 donor to the Democratic Party. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. And I this is the first time I'm going to say this publicly. And I've said it before, kind of naming names, but on the Friday where we had a collection of us that were ready to fund BlockFi so that they didn't have to take the FTX deal, Peter Thiel's group backed out. No explanation. Just we're not going to do it. They had $330 million invested in this company, and they walked away. Still makes no sense. All you do is throw in 50, 60 million bucks, which to Peter is like me putting a $5 bill out of my pocket. And it just hit me right now, live. That wasn't an accident. I don't believe that was an accident. And I think this is all a very, look, and you and I will disagree until it's proven one way or the other. But I think this is a very elaborate, I think there's nothing accidental. Of course you put on a clown show, because it's not accidental that SBF was supposed to testify, right? Oh, he's arrested. He's detained. Okay. But he happens to have this perfectly typed out transcript that just gets leaked. All part of the clown show. That wasn't, he didn't write that. That was written and leaked for him. This is really crazy stuff. And we haven't talked about the Warren bill. That should make everyone who's listening to this.
It should. I think that's not going to pass.
Podcast.
Though. The Warren bill.
I hope you're right. If it does, this is a very, very difficult road to hoe.
Yeah.
And if you are in crypto and you are not terrified by this bill, and people say, "Oh, I can get around it. I'll VPN out and I'll buy my crypto." Okay. But they're basically going to criminalize, which, look, people always said, government will just ban crypto. They can't ban crypto, right? It's decentralized. It just pops up everywhere else. But what you can do is what they've done. You can reduce confidence through this public clown show spectacle of FTX, which I believe was completely made up from day one. You can then criminalize holding it outside the system, the KYC AML system. And look, I still think, I said this last week, I used to laugh when people like Elizabeth Warren would say, "Oh, crypto's only used for money laundering." And she keeps doubling down on that, tripling down on that. I'm like, well, I used to laugh because I didn't realize that she had inside information, that they're the biggest money launderers. I mean, the whole FTX thing, it's a money laundering scam. Like if you looked up the word money laundering, it would show you how to do it using SBF, shell companies, transferring money from one company to another, routing it through foreign countries, banking in the Bahamas. That's what money laundering is. So I'm very concerned about where this is headed. Bugged me about it, Michael, is we had this similar activity in Bitcoin at Luna, at Three Arrows, at FTX, and now here.
Yeah.
where you get this spike right before another drop. And then the logic goes that the people lied, right? They didn't have it, and therefore they had to go buy it. And so that put upward pressure on the price, and then they had to give it to people as they took it out. So when there are these runs on the bank, if the bank doesn't have the money, and whether it's gross incompetence or planned theft, it doesn't really matter. If you don't have it, you don't have it. If you gave it to political candidates or you just lost it, it went into one of the Bahamian blue holes, or Caroline lost it trading, which I don't believe. And look, that's why, I contend that we're still in crypto spring, right? Everyone's like, oh no, crypto winter's back. I'm like, no, it's still spring. It's just, there was this hurricane, this early hurricane came, Hurricane Sam. And yeah, it caused another wave of unwinding of leverage. And now we got these two other risk factors that are Binance and Tether. So let's do the Binance math. I mean, Binance is big. I mean, they just had $10 billion of outflows, 5 in one day. So huge. But they handled it well, as you said. And part of it is, this is really big, right? It's 80% of global market share, by last count. So it's big. The other thing is it's distributed, right? It's not one, there's Binance in this country and Binance in this country, and they're actually different code bases. And so it's actually a pretty interesting network that he's built, global network. It's pretty amazing. I mean, the guy's actually executed as well as anybody. So, but the issue is, if that run on the bank continues, that will put downward pressure unless people just take it back and put it on a ledger, which would make me happy as owner of Ledger, which now has gone from 15% of all the crypto in the world to 20%. Is a genius. Pascal's a visionary. And he said this was coming. He said he hired the guy from Apple. The guy came in, and look, I believe we will all carry one of these devices.
Yeah.
Right. I believe we will. And so if everyone if it's a temporary shift from exchange, now we still need exchanges. How are we going to buy and sell, to each other if we don't have exchanges? We've got to have exchanges. But if it doesn't go down, and if it's not over levered with BNB, which it probably isn't for all the reasons you said, then I'm okay. But even if the run on the bank keeps going, as a percentage of total assets, it's still relatively small. So let's go then to Tether. Tether, 65 billion. It's gone from 85 to 65. They handled the 20 billion, no problem. But there's a question. Again, the data in the FTX filing said, they created 36 billion tethers. Like, over what period? How much of that was double and triple counting? But let's assume that was the number.
Right.
So let's say half of tethers aren't real. Okay. So that'd be $35 billion, $36 billion. Bitcoin's a $350 billion asset, $340 billion asset. Okay, 10%. Would 10% take it to zero? No. Would it hurt? Yep. It would hurt. Probably make new lows. But it won't go to zero. And then once that's done, once the Tether FUD's gone, then we can go back to building and growing and using. Because at the end of the day, the core, and it's different for Bitcoin versus other crypto, but Bitcoin, the core technology of a better money, that ain't going back in the bottle. Right?
No, it's not.
It is the internet of money, or the internet of value, or the truth net, as I like to call it, replacing trust with truth. So that isn't going away. It's depressing right now. And for the first time in 8 years of my crypto journey, I'm having not second thoughts. I've probably had second, third, and fourth, and fifth thoughts already. But I'm having to struggle because there's bad people doing bad stuff, and there's things that don't make any sense, and the government's fighting hard. But at the end of the day, this is about the tech, it's about the people, and it's about the future. And that makes me so excited every day when I wake up